again. We're here on Main Street for the panel. People out all the time. For some reason there's a Paris Hilton sighting, which is somewhat appalling to be having at a film festival. There you have it. All right, everybody here for the panel. Mike Volpe.
Hello.
Phil Lillyval, Dimitri,
Hello.
Shapiro from Video. Say hi.
Howdy.
Eric from MTV, etc. Dan Glickman from
Great to be
MPA.
here. Thank
Jason
you.
Color, where are you? Hello. Ted, say hi.
Hi.
Say hi to the Boomtown readers.
Hey.
And anyway, we're going to do this panel here today.
I'm on the.
And it's going to be very exciting. It's on online video. And here's our audience. Actually, it's going to be a big audience. But they're dying to get in. Everything.
I think when you look at the potential of MySpace, when all the capability is there, it's going to be very, very impressive. Just in the last 24 hours, they featured a Simpsons video, and it generated, just about 1 million views, which, your top video takes months to get something like that. So nobody should discount the value of MySpace. I think when you see the ability for folks on social networks, wherever they are, to contextually recommend and introduce content to their family and friends, it's, to me, one of the most powerful distribution places on the internet today.
Yeah,
You're
no, I
shaking your
totally
head.
agree with Jason. The thing is, there's many ways to recommend stuff, right? Users can find stuff by digging it themselves, or they can have somebody like Juiced or Via or Amazon tell them, we think based on our very smart computer that this is what you'd like. And then when your best friend sends you an email saying, watch this, you always watch that. So there is nothing more powerful to recommend to a user to watch something than their friends. And what all these social networking sites are essentially very effective ways of creating recommendations or getting people to join into an activity. If that particular thing is a video, a friend recommended a video, you're going to watch it. That's the core of what YouTube is. Your friends recommending to you videos, right? So.
Can you explain that to us, please?
Yes, all right. You
For the blog.
you look at the level of involvement in the caucuses, in the primaries, the level of hits on a variety of internet sites, and most of the political pundits view that public participation, particularly for people under the age of 30 years old, has gone up exponentially in the last 5 years, particularly the last 2 years. And you wonder the impact of the social networking sites, the blogs, getting the political parties and the politicians to recognizing the power of the new media to getting messaging across, and whether that's have an impact on this perceptible increase in involvement in American politics over the last couple of years. So it doesn't relate to how you monetize content on the web, but indirectly it shows the power of the media we're talking about.
Exist, and it's going to exist in a very big way. So I think it's a very important point to be negotiating now and in the future. And if the writers are left out of revenues that come from digital distribution, I think they will be extremely upset when the money really is there, and it's there in a big way.
There's also a rich history of one side or the other missing the curve and getting screwed for 2 or 3 years, and that's what they're trying to avoid. They should reserve the right to get smarter, right, every year. So and they're looking at, I know there's no money here, but there's got to be money here, and when it gets there, we want to deal with it now, so we're not dealing with it later. So everyone gets deeper and deeper dug in.
I don't negotiate this stuff, but I work for the companies that are involved with it. It does strike me that the Directors Guild agreement offers a good template here, because if you notice what was done is there were some substantive changes made on compensation on the new media, and the parties reserved for another 3 years to take a look at this again, and the entire agreement's going to be reopened basically in 3 years if parties choose to do that, because as the directors, they hired, I think, a fair amount of economic analysts to determine that we just don't know now what this is going to be like, so there was no reason to lock ourselves into that. So, I mean, I'm not telling any of the parties what to do, but I do think that looking at what the directors were able to negotiate, I think it offers a pretty good template for the other guilds as well.
Plus, the internet has never been about embracing monopolies of any kind. So embracing content monopolies or labor monopolies, it's going to be tough in the new world.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it's about finding the number. I think we'll find it. When we launched the Daily Show website, I think it was it was an absolute love-hate moment for a Daily Show writer. 10,000 clips that had been lost to history, all this great work they had done that's not on DVD and not in syndication came back to life, and they were thrilled. They were thrilled to see these sort of things come back to life, and then it's like, but wait a minute. So there had been no opportunity. They weren't even thinking about the opportunity. But then once you put it on, yes, of course, those people should be compensated for what that stuff is. It's finding the right number and also recognizing that there's in some ways we are still investing in the infrastructure. That the television parallel would be, you got to build network operations centers, and you got to get your satellites up, and you got to get your network up. We're still doing that, and that investment dollars that are going into it. It's not just about an existing medium whereby any piece of content can be put up. So I think we will arrive at that number. I think Dan's right.
Oligopolistic or monopolistic environment for broadband, your host. In all the countries where there's lots of broadband, the government has taken a course of action to debundle the underlying asset, the fiber, the copper, or whatever else it is, and offer it to other people at a low cost, and they've created competition. In France, you get 100 megabits for $30 a month. In Japan, you get 100 megabits for $15 a month. Why? Because the government stepped in and said, tell you what, I know the local monopoly, the equivalent of an AT&T, has the asset, but everybody else is going to have access to that asset. The bottom line is the American government has to force competition in the marketplace where there isn't much of right now.
So Dimitri, what's the most important thing going on in online video right now?
I think the most important thing is that traditional content providers are embracing online video and understanding that the only way that they are going to survive in this new world and really make it big is to make sure that all of their content is available online, is extremely embeddable, and can be, in a sense, everywhere. It can be on Facebook, it can be on Vio, it can be on people's individual websites. And I think I'm pretty excited that they're doing that in a big way.
Great. Dimitri, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Need to do anything?
All right, Dan, you were really great. This was really good. So what did you learn here about online video?
I learned there are a lot smarter people in this world than I am.
Yeah, what are the big issues you're dealing with now at the MPAA?
Well, I think clearly trying to help our companies on offense get
Right.
into these new markets with
Right.
all of their entertainment and finding ways to get consumers in new ways, and at the same time on defense, doing our best to protect their content from theft.
Now, do you feel they've come around on that issue, that they have to be part of this? You get them embracing
There's
digital?
no question that our companies are making deals daily, and a lot of those guys were on the program with
Right,
me
right.
to find new ways to get stuff on the internet, both full-length movies as well as clips, TV shows, that kind of thing. So,
Right.
I mean, the challenge obviously is to do it in a way so you don't lose control over the
Right,
situation.
right.
But we're playing both games, offense and defense.
Great. Dan Glickman, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Or Mike, very briefly, you discussed lemons a lot, squeezing of the lemons, of the content lemon. What do you mean by that?
Well, when you make a film, you have a full lemon.
Right.
And then you put it on TV and you squeeze it a little, and then you
Right.
put it on DVD and you squeeze it a little more, and then you put it on
Right.
the internet and you squeeze it even a little more, and before you're done, you're like eating up the pulp and everything else on the lemon. That's what you want to do with content.
Mike Volpe, you're a poet of online video. Thank you very much.